Hashtag woke nation. Hashtag 2020 is woke. Hashtag woke folk.
But I do get a sense sometimes now among certain young people, and this is accelerated by social media, there is this sense sometimes of the way of me making change is to be as judgmental as possible about other people. And that's enough. Like if I tweet or hashtag about how you didn't do something right or used the wrong verb, or then I can sit back and feel pretty good about myself. Because, man, you see how woke I was? I called you out. Let me get on TV, watch my show, watch Grownish. You know, that's not activism.
You know, everybody's talking about the economic impacts of the massive bag of we're in right now. What people aren't talking about is the psychological impacts. Before we go on, once again, if you like my content, please subscribe, hit that bell notification, like and comment. It'll only take you a second, guys, and it really means a lot to me. Maybe we're actually having to look at ourselves in the mirror and to really analyze all the things that we've been taking for granted in our lives. Me personally, I kind of thrive in these hostile environments. It's how I was raised. My parents were refugees. Okay, they escaped the war between Georgia and Azerbaijan in the early 90s. Mother was pregnant with me at the time. We hiked it out of there to Sochi, Russia, where I was born, son to refugee parents. So, as you can imagine, we were broker than broke in a post-Soviet Union Russian tourist city. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do but to grind, to hustle against all odds. And guess what? The economy back then in Russia was completely in shambles. Probably even worse. I'd say a lot worse than actually the US is doing right now. Definitely, because people couldn't even get soap. People couldn't even get toiletries because entire industries were shut down. Production was shut down. Check out this cool Wikipedia article on the impact on the music industry. It lists all the concerts, tours, residencies, ceremonies, festivals, conferences. Did I ever say conferences? That have been canceled or postponed. And the truth is, some of these postponed dates, like they're trying to say things are rescheduled to September or November. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And now, word is buzzing around that artists like Drake might go independent. Why? Well, because the industries, they have to abide with whatever the government says. Big industry players, they can't make moves. You can't. Everybody knew when this thing started that the big events where clusters of people were going to be hanging around, those were going to be shut down. And guess what? For artists are not making money off album sales. Not like they used to. No way. Artists are making most of their money on concert sales and the merch that they sell at these concerts. That's it. Now they can't do that. Let me take a sip of this. Let me take a sip of this beer right here, okay? This is a Baltica number 9. It's a Russian 8%, but really it's probably more like a 12%. Just what I needed. if Drake's talking about going independent, or if there's even at least rumors of him going independent, guess what? It indicates that there's going to be some seismic shifts in various industries, and we're already seeing it. The Zoom graduates from all these universities. Who could have imagined that people would finish their last 2 months of class online on Zoom?
1, 2,
And then most
3.
people would not be walking in their ceremony, in the graduation ceremonies, because, you know. When you got all day to spend at home, that's like cabin fever. And artists are so emotional. So you can imagine how many internal struggles that are going on with artists. Which leads me to this next article. Ty, T-Y, dollar sign, Kanye West. How do you say that? T-Y? Ty? Whatever. Kanye West, FKA Twigs, Skrillex get animated for ego death. Here's a whole tune that alludes to doing psychedelics in order to achieve what is proverbially referred to as an ego death. A sensation in which that voice that's always talking in your head, that's always trying to flaunt its feathers, that's always trying to puff up and show off and do the thing and compete, that voice is gone. And what's left is just the purity, or just that vacuum of energy that is inside us, and that's inside us all. So is this what that video is about? To tell you the truth, this isn't the most woke thing I've seen, but it's a start. And I'm not a proponent of any sort of drugs. Don't even start with me, guys. As a matter of fact, yeah, drugs might help, psychedelics might help, but guess what? If you didn't have any of the tools to help yourself before something you put in your body, then you still got a lot of work to do without all these delicious edibles. But at the very least, this song does allude to something in the music realm that's waking artists up. So check this out. I'm gonna play you part of Kanye's verse on this tune.
The people be thinking, but I'm just a sayer. Artists can't perform at Super Bowl, but it's okay.
Artists can't perform at the Super Bowl. That's the correct lyric. Whoever did the text in this video messed up. Man, how unfortunate. All that animation work just to mess up a couple words. Say what you will about Kanye, but he has a point. For Kanye to suggest in a popular video that movements need improvement, that certain people may be barred from larger gigs like the Super Bowl, pointing fingers, calling out people for inconsistencies in this political world, but also in the music world. You know, that's not only ballsy, but that's suggesting that people at the highest level might be done with the current system. And even if this is a seed of something much greater, I'm excited for what it may bring. I'm excited, and I'm also a little bit worried that, like everything else that's ever stirred the pot in our society, it might get appropriated, it might get corrupted by the industries. Just like the hippie culture was totally appropriated and corrupted by industries. Just like all the lessons from the 60s and 70s were kind of lost in the ether. You know, all that talk about peace and stopping war didn't really seem to have helped too much. We did Gulf 1, we did Gulf 2, and we messed up Libya. And guess what? We're still doing some shady stuff all over the place. So, but I'm hoping that this time people don't forget the lessons. The socio-economic impacts, again, of this massive pile of shit we're in on the music industry has forced artists to assess the structure of the business and the direction it's headed. What do you think artists are realizing when they notice that their calendars are empty for the next 6 months? When the world is spinning as usual and everything is going as planned, your manager is booking you, the record company is having another meeting today, your tour dates are locked, the puzzle pieces are moving, the gears are turning. You don't have time to question to question the state of the business. You don't have time to ponder about other options, solutions, potential hurdles. The music business moves really fast. As fast as the flashing lights around the red carpet. You're eating from the hand that feeds you with blindfolds on. It's a dirty, decrepit, rotten, stinky old man's hand. It reeks of death and corruption. You don't notice or care, but the world is not spinning like it used to. You're stuck at home asking yourself, what the fuck am I gonna do now? You're stuck at home wondering, what am I without these executives? Maybe we're starting to realize that we've been relying on fakeness too long. We've been relying on this for too long. We haven't actually made significant intellectual steps, morally intelligent steps in our society. And I think that it's brilliant that artists are talking about things like ego death in popular music. I think that's a huge, huge thing. And I hope it doesn't get corrupted like everything else. Because big changes start with us. It's true. Big changes start with us. Big changes starts with the artists, the musicians. Who do we remember influencing Rome? The artists. We don't talk about hardly anybody knows the political happenings of ancient Rome, but we know the art, we know the architecture, we know the music. Because guess what? Those were the people shaping the zeitgeist. So it starts with us, and I hope it sticks. So guys, if you find yourself staring in the mirror too long because of what's going on, that's not a bad thing. I hope you find something in yourself, and I hope we all figure out how to come out of this stronger than ever. Because what we're realizing more than anything else is that we're sick. We're sick as a society. And I think, once again, the burden's a little bit on the artists to make us improve, to get us to heal. So let's really think about our moral intelligence. Let's really think about where we're headed socially, not just economically. So I invite the musicians to tell me in the comments below, what do you think? Might this actually be a blessing in disguise? Are we going to become happier after all this? Are we going to become closer? You know, are we just going to go back to being piranhas in the water or sharks in the water, just trying to cut all the corners we can, screw whoever we can in the process and get ahead of everybody else? What have you guys been realizing during this time that we've had to be alone? You know, have you learned something that maybe you've been ignoring for years, months, decades? Is it kind of more of the same for you? Maybe you still have your gigs. Maybe you still have your regular job. Let me know in the comments.